How will the US-China trade war affect Jamaica? The ongoing trade war between the United States and China has created economic ripples across the globe, affecting markets, businesses, and governments far beyond their borders. As these two economic superpowers impose tariffs and trade restrictions on each other, the effects are being felt in various ways, particularly in small, open economies like Jamaica. Given the island's reliance on both U.S. and Chinese trade and investment, understanding the potential implications of this geopolitical conflict is crucial. Jamaica sits at a critical intersection of global trade, with the United States as its largest trading partner and China as a key investor in its infrastructure. Any disruptions in the global supply chain or changes in trade policies between these two giants could have significant consequences for Jamaica's economy. From the cost of consumer goods to investment in development projects, the trade war could lead to both opportunities and challenges for the island nation. In this video, we will examine how the US-China trade war could affect Jamaica by looking at its trade ties with both countries, the potential economic impacts, responses from Jamaican businesses and government officials, and the possible future scenarios that could emerge as a result of this ongoing conflict. Jamaica's economic relationship with the United States has historically been strong, with the U.S. being the island's largest trading partner. The U.S. provides Jamaica with a wide range of imports, including machinery, consumer goods, and agricultural products, while also serving as a major market for Jamaican exports such as bauxite, rum, and agricultural products. Any shifts in U.S. trade policies due to the trade war could influence these trade dynamics, impacting both businesses and consumers in Jamaica. On the other hand, China has become a crucial economic player in Jamaica over the past 2 decades, with significant investments in infrastructure, construction, and energy projects. Chinese companies have built roads, ports, and government buildings, often funded by Chinese loans. Additionally, Chinese exports to Jamaica, ranging from electronics to automobiles, have provided consumers with affordable alternatives. If the trade war leads to disruptions in Chinese manufacturing or increased costs, Jamaica may feel the effects through higher prices and potential delays in infrastructure development. Despite the island's heavy reliance on both economies, Jamaica has maintained a neutral stance, benefiting from trade relationships with both the U.S. and China. However, as tensions escalate, Jamaica may have to navigate carefully to ensure it does not become collateral damage in a trade war that it has no control over, but is inevitably affected by. One of the most immediate effects of the US-China trade war on Jamaica could be the increase in consumer prices. Many of the goods imported from China, such as appliances, clothing, and construction materials, could become more expensive if tariffs continue to rise. Since businesses rely on affordability to remain competitive, higher costs could trickle down to consumers, reducing purchasing power and increasing the cost of living for everyday Jamaicans. Another key sector that could be affected is Jamaica's bauxite and alumina industry. The U.S. is a major buyer of Jamaican bauxite, and any trade shifts caused by the trade war could have indirect effects on this vital export. If China, which is also a major player in the aluminum market, redirects its supply chains in response to U.S. tariffs, it could alter global demand and pricing, potentially impacting Jamaica's earnings from this resource. The uncertainty surrounding trade policies could further discourage foreign investment in the sector. Infrastructure projects backed by Chinese investments might also face slowdowns if economic uncertainty forces China to scale back its foreign expenditures. Many major construction projects in Jamaica have relied on Chinese financing, and if China diverts funds elsewhere or prioritizes domestic economic stability, it could result in delays or cancellations of planned projects. This could affect employment, economic growth, and overall development in the country. The Jamaican government has so far taken a diplomatic approach, avoiding any overt alignment with either the U.S. or China in the trade dispute. Officials have emphasized the importance of maintaining strong relationships with both countries while working to secure Jamaica's economic stability. Policymakers are closely monitoring global trade trends to determine the best course of action to minimize risks and seize opportunities where possible. Jamaican businesses, particularly those involved in import and export, are also adapting to the evolving trade landscape. Some companies are looking to diversify their supply chains to avoid over-reliance on either the US or China. Others are exploring alternative markets, including trade agreements with regional partners, to mitigate potential disruptions. Business leaders are also urging the government to negotiate favorable trade terms that will keep Jamaica competitive amid the global uncertainties. Financial institutions and economic analysts have highlighted the need for proactive measures to strengthen Jamaica's economic resilience. Some experts suggest that Jamaica should invest more in local production and reduce dependency on imported goods, while others argue for increased trade diversification beyond the US-China dynamic. The ongoing trade war presents both risks and opportunities, and the response from Jamaica's government and business community will be crucial in shaping the island's economic future. The US-China trade war is a complex geopolitical issue with far-reaching implications, and while Jamaica is not directly involved, it remains vulnerable to its economic aftershocks. From rising prices and shifting trade dynamics to potential slowdowns in infrastructure development, the effects could be both immediate and long-term. Careful economic planning and strategic decision-making will be necessary to navigate these uncertain times. Despite the challenges, Jamaica also has opportunities to strengthen its economy by diversifying trade partnerships, encouraging local production, and enhancing resilience against external shocks. By taking a balanced and pragmatic approach, the country can continue to benefit from both US and Chinese trade ties while minimizing the risks associated with the global trade war. As the situation continues to unfold, Jamaica's ability to adapt and respond will determine how well it weathers the storm. Policymakers, businesses, and consumers must stay informed and prepared, ensuring that the island remains economically stable amid the ongoing tensions between these two global superpowers.